Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at a couple of upcoming Hong Kong races and we try to work out the key element of those events that we might look back on later as having decided the outcome. Well, the first race I'm going to look at on Monday at Sha Tin is race 6. Now, winning factor here, the draw. Quite a decent class 3 on the dirt here with Pinghai Treasure racing in very good form. Two strong possibilities from John Moore's yard, the 3-year-old Buddies, and also Earth Trilogy, who backs up from winning last week on the turf. And down the bottom of the weights we've got Imperial Concord and General Dino, who look chances with the handicaps in their favour. But the horse I think will catch everybody's eye here is Buddies, going from barrier 14 last time in what looks a very strong race to barrier 1 here. First we're going to look at race 7:05, 2 starts ago for Buddies, when he had gate 1 also. And on this occasion he was able to sit in the box seat for Zac Purton and put away a class 4 field in pretty handy style, running away from them in the straight. Now race 7:39, however, is his most recent run. He went onto the dirt, a surface where he has already won, but he didn't have things quite as easily this time. It was June 12, and he did some work early in the race. Purton was trying to get over to lead from gate 14, but he couldn't head King's Shield, who had a low draw and was running some time early, as you see on the heat map, above average sectionals in the first part of the race. But King's Shield simply didn't stop. In the home straight, he was again able to step up the pace and run a strong final sectional, and perhaps what I think was the most impressive win on the dirt this season. And now when we look at Monday's race, not only is there nothing of the calibre of King's Shield to deal with, but Buddies comes back into gate 1, and we look on the map, there are a couple who might lead him there. Regency Bobo having a try at the dirt for the first time, 1650. He might be a possible leader here. And Purton can just sit behind whoever leads in the box seat, and I think that'll make him too strong in the run home. So the tip in race 6, Buddies. His winning factor, the draw. There was no disgrace in being beaten by King's Shield under any circumstances last time, but with the draw against him, Buddies did a great job and beat the rest easily, and he should account for this lot. The second race I want to look at is one of the really interesting races of the day. This is race 8, and our winning factor here, maturity. Well, the horse that's going to catch everybody's eye here, of course, is the star 2-year-old, Athero. He's won his 2 Griffin races. That puts him into open age company now, and most punters will look at him first as the likely winner of the race. But I think he'll get some spirited competition from Inform Aero Happiness, and right down at the bottom of the weights, Ballistic King ran well at Happy Valley last start, and Diamond Brilliant, who had no luck at all behind Golden 60 last start. But the focus of most punters, as I said, is going to be on Athero. He's won both his races as a 2-year-old against Griffins with his head on his chest, and looks a horse of the future. But history shows us that these 2-year-olds going into open age racing from the Griffin races is not the pushover that many people might think. Now we're going to have a look at a graphic here, and this tables the horses which have gone out of Griffin racing into the races against open age horses since 2000, and there's only 17 of them in all, but only 5 of them have won. And I can tell you that some of these at the time were considered stars of the future, the way we're looking at Athero at the moment, but they weren't able to do the job at that stage, even in the case of a horse like Good Barbar, who went on to become one of the all-time greats, but he was beaten at his first attempt coming out of Griffins into class 3. So it's not a walkover by any means. But let's remind ourselves why Athero is going to be the likely favourite in this race, and we go to race 684. Again, this is a race for Griffins only, and here Zac Purton took the luck out of the equation. He just went straight to the front. And if you look at the heat map here, I'm going to show you something very interesting between this and our next replay. And you can see there that there was a very fast early section, a fast second section, and then a coast down to the line for Athero without breaking the clock in the straight, because Purton didn't put him under any pressure at all. He didn't need to. But these heat maps we calculate with Griffin times against Griffin times. Now when we look at our next replay, and this is Aero Happiness on the same day a few hours later, also winning over 1200 metres at Sha Tin, and you'll see him, he runs on strongly here, but I want to take note of the heat map once again. Now these times are not exceptional times for a Class 3. However, all three of the sections for this race are faster than the sections run in a Thero's race. And that shows you the difference in class between the Griffin race and the higher grade of the Class 3. So that's what a Thero comes up against here. You'll see Aero Happiness finishes strongly to win this. His final section, much stronger than a Thero's final 400 metre split. How much of that and the 1 second difference in overall time was down to the pressure that wasn't being applied to a Thero? Well, I guess we find that out on Monday. Now the map here is also very interesting because I guess most Thero fans, when they picked up the fields, they thought, gee, gate 14, that doesn't make it too easy. But if we take a closer look at the race, there isn't really a lot of speed in it. The horse immediately under him showed some speed at his only start. But overall, it looks a race where a Thero, who can be a little hesitant at the start, even if he does hesitate, he doesn't have a horse on his outside, he won't get crossed, and that should enable Purton to take him across the face of the field, and he will look to lead and dictate the tempo to suit himself. Meanwhile, Aero Happiness we've seen getting back in his races, and from this draw I think that's likely to happen again. So much of this depends on whether there is some opposition for a Thero being able to get over and control the pace or not. However, in race 8, I'm going to tip Aero Happiness to beat a Thero here. I think he'll be a little bit better price. His winning factor, maturity. As we saw on the graphic, it's not just a walk in the park for these 2-year-olds taking on older horses for the first time. And even though it looks run to suit a Thero, I think that at this particular point in his career, even though he's probably going to be going on to be a much, much better horse than Aero Happiness later, I think Aero Happiness will be very competitive with him in this race on Monday. Well, that's it for this week on The Winning Factor. Good luck on Monday. We'll see you next time.